Hey, what's good, y'all? What's good? Welcome back to Pen Crypto. My name is C. Will, and today we have an interview popping off, and we about to go in on some Algorand. We're gonna be talking about Ghetto Pigeon War Zones and that whole Ghetto Pigeon universe. So let's welcome the man on himself. Welcome, Ghetto Pigeons. Yo, what's good?
Hello, I'm good, my brother. How you been?
I'm good, man. I'm good. So thank you for coming on the show and blessing my audience with some good information. And I know a lot of the Ghetto Pigeon army out here been tapping in with me and excited for this interview. So if y'all watching right now live, make sure you hit the like button, leave a comment, and say what's good. So let's get this show on the road. Ghetto Pigeons, you want to do a quick, slight introduction of yourself to my audience?
Yeah, most certainly. We're a small project based out of London. We've been building on the Algorand ecosystem for about 3 to 4 years now, and it's just gotten to the point where we've launched two play-to-earn games, multiple, or you could say passive income like soft staking, asset staking, obviously the in-game rewards. We built like our own ghetto marketplace where you can sell different NFTs, different assets, that kind of thing, which we're going to eventually turn into like our own like merch marketplace where you can actually purchase our merch using Algorand, or you can basically select what ASA from the ecosystem you want to use. So you could potentially use like Coop, you could use Coup,
Okay.
you could use IGA, like I get Algo. You can use basically any ASA that's on chain on Algorand using our marketplace.
Excellent.
If that
Excellent.
makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. So I definitely like what you're doing. Been seeing you around. We chatted up in the DMs. I feel like some years ago as well.
Yeah, literally, bro. It must have been like 2 years now at this point.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm happy we finally get to meet up. So again, I like what you're doing here. I think with the NFTs, the whole video game ecosystem, all of that is a smart way to play the game. It gets a lot of attention and everyone engaged. So let's start with the
Very
name.
true.
Where did the name Ghetto Pigeons come from?
So Ghetto Pigeon, I mean, initially, I grew up in like Harlesden, Wembley in London. I don't know if you're probably not that common of London in
No,
itself.
I'm not that familiar, but I always love the London accent. I mean, I watch
No,
Sofa, you know what I'm saying?
I
I love
appreciate that, bro. I
it.
appreciate that. But yeah, so just the name itself, like I say, like it's not exactly a ghetto, but it's not exactly a slum, but it's not the wealthiest of areas that I grew up in. Like it's what would you call it in America? It's like a council estate over here is equivalent to like the projects in America, shall I say?
Got you.
Like it's very similar, like very poor standards of living. Just no one's got much money. Do you know what I mean? It's all kind of like community based, and I feel like it's a shame nowadays, especially because I feel like a lot of that community is actually diminished. So there's not much. It feels like there's no hope almost. Like I go back to the areas I grew up in, and it just feels like it's yeah, no hope really. It's quite depressing, shall I say? But that's kind of where the name come from. So obviously, ghetto pigeons. The pigeons are really common in London, in the UK. So that's kind of where the basis came from.
Yeah, yeah. And pigeons be out in the streets.
That's it, bro. The pigeons be hustling. Do you know what I mean? They
Dude,
be hustling, man.
where I'm from in Oregon, we got a lot of crows, so a little bit
Yeah,
different. Yeah, but they similar. They similar. They just kind of
similar.
scavengers. They out
That's
there
it, man.
in the ghettos for sure. Okay,
That's it.
I appreciate that breakdown. So, in terms of gaming, what kind of games inspired you? I know Ghetto Warzones. I do love that name. It's for me, it looks like a Call of Duty type situation. Those type of games. But what video games inspired you?
Yeah, so exactly that. So like I said, I grew up playing like Call of Duty, Battlefield. You could even say like Fortnite towards the end of my like teenage years. And yeah, that's kind of where I got it from. And the idea that sprung to my mind was in them like AAA games that they have so many like in-game purchases you have to make to actually enjoy the game. And once you've purchased them in-game assets, you're just stuck with them. You can't sell them on. You can't like, do you know what I mean? They're just stuck in your account. So that's where the idea kind of came to me. Where could we build a first-person shooter, obviously multiplayer, where you can play to earn, but you can also interchange the assets, so you can actually buy and sell assets for the game, which is exactly what we've been able to do. So like for Ghetto Warzones currently, you can purchase like different weapons, and there's obviously a limited supply of the weapons, so then you can sell them in the secondary market. So it just creates that it's just a good for our community, especially like they can almost like trade weapons and that kind of thing. They're not just stuck in your account once you've purchased them.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's always the issue with the traditional gamings like that. You put a lot of money in. I used to play a lot of like phone games, and then you want to level up, you got to purchase. But exactly as you said, there's nothing that you can do with that afterwards.
Exactly. I used to be when I was younger. There was a game called like Clash of Clans.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if you've ever heard of that. And it's like
exactly
exactly. And you still have to buy these little gems to like make your buildings go quicker, so like you can build more things. And that was like, I think that was probably the first time I interacted with like in-game purchases, and it just hit me like, why I've got a game, you own the game, but then you have to purchase more and more just to kind of keep playing it.
It's a racket.
It's a racket, man. Exactly. It's like it's just like a trap, basically. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, definitely. They're siphoning money with no resale value. Not for
Yep. Exactly, man. Exactly. So that's why I thought like we could change it, especially with Ghetto Warzones, and obviously the plays to earn aspect as well is just another benefit for our holders.
Yep. And people leaving a lot of comments. Appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all keep dropping them. We're gonna get to the code. We're gonna get to the puffs. Maybe some of the big balls. We'll talk about all that.
Yeah, most definitely.
In terms of, so I've been in Algorand, I don't know, a few years now, maybe around 2021, just in the community. We all active on Twitter, where I found most people. And obviously, I've been doing, interviews and all that for many years and just covering. How did you find Algorand? And then, what made you want to build on Algorand?
So initially, I found Algorand. I explained this on the Frugal interview that I done recently. So
shout out to Frugal.
Shout out to Frugal, man. That's a amazing guy right there. But so there was in 2021 or 2020, I think it was, just after COVID, there was a Dippo. I think it was Dippo. Dippo done an event in London at the O2 Arena where it was the Oculus launch. So do you remember Oculus? So
I remember Oculus.
Yeah, man. Looking back on it now, I said leave a sour taste in your mouth. But at the time, it was meant to be a game changer. So obviously, with the music scene, and obviously a lot of my mates in real life are obviously like music producers and that kind of thing. So obviously, one of my friends was actually a close. I wouldn't say like close friend, but he knew of Lee. So Lee Parsons, who made Oculus.
He's from London, right? Isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. He's from London as well. He's from London as well, man. So obviously, we got invited to the event, and from there, we kind of just met a few people, and I think that's what initially got me onto Twitter as just like in the Algorand ecosystem. Yeah. And then from there, it kind of just, like I say, just kept going. I found out, I think the first NFTs I found out was Algorand.
Yeah, that was
that was the big one on their initial launch, and I think it was like 70 Algorand, I think it was at the time, for a public shuffle, when Algorand was at like $1.80, so it was actually like quite a big investment for an NFT. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. The proper glory days, man. Yeah. And that's what kind of gave me the inspiration, because obviously I used to be really big into art when I was like early high school, like before my main GCSEs and all the exams. I was in love with art. I used to draw all the time, and one of my mates just said to me like, "Oh, that you can draw. Why don't you just try drawing something and putting it on chain?" So that's how the initial Ghetto Pigeon collection started. Was just like an idea, see where it can go, kind of thing, and just over the years, it's grown into something where, like I say, the ghetto market and the Ghetto Warzones, especially, the products themselves can almost stand on their own.
Yeah.
Separate to the NFTs, because obviously a lot of people are very, very skeptical on NFTs these days.
Yeah, and again, like I mentioned earlier, it just makes sense that if you build a whole ecosystem around it, then that brings all the value right there. It makes definitely sense. And then we've seen a lot of NFT projects come and go. They drop some collections, they sell, they out of here. But yourself, Algorand, a few others are still around and they're still building. And I always, me personally, thought the best model is the plug in to the gaming. So more about the gaming.
Mhm.
Are you the developer, or do you you got a team? Like how are you building all of this out? I know you do art, but what about the building of the game? And we use
So
Unity, right? Unity.
yeah, so it's built on Unity Engine, and initially I found a few game developers that said they could take on the project, and I got scammed a few times. I must admit, I was more fool to me because it was just a case of like a lot of developers would say like once we start the work, we want 50% payment up front and then 50% payment after the product's been delivered. And I was a bit of a fool. Like when I first started the project, I was only like 21, 22. So I was just stupid. Do you know what I mean? So I ended up falling. I fell for it twice, which is actually, I can't believe it when I look back on it. But yeah, sent the initial payment, the deposit, and then never heard back. So that happened twice. And eventually I found an actual gaming studio. They're called Port C Gaming Studios, and I realized they were kind of vetted, like they've made products before. They've actually got official games out there. So that's when I reached out to them, basically explained that I've been scammed, and they was like, "Oh yeah, no problem. Like we can help you." But then the hiccup I had with them was that they had no idea how to work on Algorand. They've only ever worked on like EVM chains and that kind of thing. So when it got to the actual, like literally, I'd say about 85% of the product being completed, they turned around and said to me like, "We can't get it on Algorand. We can only do Ethereum." And I thought like, what's that good news to me? Like I'm building on Algorand. I'm not building on Ethereum. Do you know what I mean? And that's when our two main developers now, which is Emmanuel and Labs, so that their Twitter like hashtag names are Guna Labs and EA Arlo, I think Emmanuel's is. But anyway, these two guys are just honestly like they've been sent from heaven or something. Do you know what I mean? Because they saved the products. Because the game would have literally just been like a Web 2 based game connected to no side of the blockchain, like that kind of thing. And they was able to basically link it to the back end where obviously you could connect your wallet. You could only have access to the in-game reward pools if you hold the required NFTs. And yeah, just the whole back end was them two guys.
Oh, that's a blessing. Yeah, because as we all know, the EVM versus AVM, Algorand virtual machine, Ethereum virtual machine, seem like they definitely in different worlds. People working on blending them together, but it's like at this point, you got to like pick and then grind it out. And that's exactly what you obviously been doing. So we got to just blow Algorand up some more, basically.
That's it. Exactly. We've got to spread the word, man. We need to spread the word. I'm thinking to go to like London, like Oxford Street or something, and set up a little stall with a camera or something and just start talking about Algorand. Do you know what I mean? Just try and do something like that, man.
The Easy A app was just out there.
Exactly. And I couldn't get to the event, but I wish I could. I wish I could have, man.
Yeah. So I think, obviously more stuff like that is the key to get people to tap in. Because like the truth be told, like when I was I found Algorand because of obviously the Coinbase where they was doing the wars, right? You hold Algorand. Remember when they used to send it directly to your wallet?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what a lot of us was on when they were doing that. But I was trying to mint NFTs on Ethereum and the price was ridiculous. And I was like, this is not going to work out. So then I found Algorand because of the staking and the passive income on there. And then I start minting NFTs and it all makes sense. And, here we are.
So much easier. Like the process of like minting on Algorand compared to other chains is there's no comparing it. Do you know what I mean? Algorand makes it so simple, man.
Yeah, so I'm still an Algorand bull, obviously. Had a lot of different shows, content all about it. So I'm definitely a bull on Algorand. I want to let me screen share real quick. I want to show the audience some of your products here, so they can make sure that they tapping in with this. Chat, can y'all see this? Make sure y'all can see it. So the first one right here, I just want to play this quick gameplay trailer, and then so they can check it out.
Oh, it's bare laggy, bro. I don't know if you want to restart it and let it load again.
Oh, yeah. You got it?
Better. That's better, bro. That's better.
It could be my internet connection a little slow here. Yeah.
No,
So
that's about right. That's about right.
Yeah, this is dope. Let me stop that here. So definitely dope. I like the it sounds real gunshots.
Yeah. That bear in mind as well that video especially was uploaded, I think, about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
So
older video.
since then, there's been a few updates, and like the UI has improved, the actual gameplay has improved quite a bit. It's a lot less like jaggedy, shall we say?
Yeah. I should have got some clips on your Twitter then. And then this here is the Ghetto Marketplace. You kind of want to walk us through a little bit what we got all up on the Ghetto Marketplace page.
Yeah, most certainly. So you have like this is just like the main homepage where obviously you can see like the latest listings on secondary and primary markets. You should also, I think that's obviously the shuffle selection where we've got a few cool collections now that have actually launched their own shuffles on Ghetto Market, which is obviously a really cool thing to be able to do. Because obviously I think a lot of projects were almost waiting for a marketplace that allowed them to do shuffles, because since like Rand Gallery had its issues and AlgoX NFT shut down, there was kind of like a void in the space. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But,
I
so
forgot about those things happening. Yeah.
Exactly, man. A lot of big names have shut down, which is quite a shame.
Yeah, I remember Algorand too.
That was Algorand. Yeah. That was like the Pokemon type vibe, wasn't it?
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man. Exactly. Yeah.
It's definitely unique. So we got the homepage, we got shuffles, auctions coming, secondary marketplace.
So you can launch auctions whenever you want. And like I say, the cool thing about Ghetto Market is you can actually choose what ASA you want to pair it with Algo. So like you can almost give so for instance, like we ran an auction the other day where we allowed, you could either bid in Algo, but you could also bid using the Puff token. So you could, and it obviously it matches the actual like USDC amount in real time. So like
of the Puff token.
Exactly. And I think on here especially, you can see that on like do you know it says like 25 Algorand?
Yep.
Yeah, so you can see the little coup token next to it. So obviously on certain listings, you can actually choose what you want to pay in.
Okay, that's dope. So speaking of the tokens, so can you give us a breakdown? You got Puff and Coup. What's the story behind those, and what's their like utilities? And talk about the passive income part.
Yeah, of course. So the Cuckoo token is the main utility token for the Ghetto Warzones ecosystem. So that's the main token that you would earn from the play to earn aspect on Ghetto Warzones. And then that is the token that you can then use to crack open vaults on the Ghetto Warzone website. So it's almost like not like it's kind of like gambling, shall we say? It's like it's like a 1 in 3 odds.
Predictions.
Predictions. Exactly. So you can crack open vaults with your tokens, and inside the vaults, it's either going to be nothing there or a nice juicy NFT that you can then take home at obviously a cut price that you would usually have to pay for the NFT. The other utilities we have is obviously you can purchase using the token, purchase ASAs on Ghetto Market using the token.
Okay.
Then obviously the other utilities that we have with Coup are, mine's gone blank now. There's a few more. There's definitely a few more.
Got a lot going on.
That's it with Coup, especially. There was quite a few things with Coup. I'm just trying to think what else we have. Obviously, you can purchase weapons with it. Obviously, holders of the NFTs get obviously airdrops of Coup. And yeah, the next thing we're going to do is obviously get the merchandise section of the website completed, so that you can actually purchase like real world assets using the Coup token.
Okay. We talking about hats, hoodies. What else?
Hats, hoodies, t-shirts, bags, even like little things like lighters, grinders, just basically anything that you think of that I can put a pigeon on, I'm going to try and do it. That's basically how I'm going to try to do it.
Makes sense. All right, hold on. What's that right there? Big balls. Let me get back to some of these. Got a woohoo. Someone excited.
Hey, Jay, we got Jay in here. How's it
Yeah,
going, my man? I
yeah.
see
I think it
Bagham's
was
in here early as well.
yeah,
There's
Bagum. I
Bagham's.
think
There's
Bagum.
Bagham's.
Appreciate you, Bagums. Yeah, yeah.
That's my guy, man.
Yeah, and grinders, lighters, hoodies, shirts. Man, yeah. I think what you're doing is definitely very smart, and it's gonna be good for the community.
No, I appreciate that, man.
Everyone, you can get Ghetto Warzones on Google Play. My question is, when Apple?
So we have put the third application in recently for the obviously the iOS application. The last two got declined due to some menu options where, as you can imagine, Apple are so strict compared to Google when it comes to obviously
Yeah,
the application process of an app. So yeah, we just had to iron out a few more things, and I'm hoping on this next application we'd finally be accepted. It's just it's such a pain because obviously I'd say like 60% of the community probably have an iPhone and they can't even access the game, which is like a big headache.
no, I mean, yeah, I guess you got to just keep working and then eventually you get there. But hey, Google is still popping though. Google's popping. I just happen to be a iPhone Mac user. Then I used to
No,
be Android a few years ago. And once I switched, it's kind of like I feel like hard to go back a little bit.
nah, most certainly, man. I feel like they did that on purpose, like with the Apple Cloud, and
Yeah,
obviously even Google do it, like the Google Cloud. Do you know what I mean? It's like
yeah,
once you make the decision, they kind of make you stick with it. Do you know what I mean?
yeah. So that's where I'm at. So let's talk about this one here. Let me click it. What is Pigeon Puff's Hooper?
So Pigeon Puff Hopper is a. I wanted to create a game where that you could play single player, where you could on your lunch break or on your toilet break, whatever, you could literally bang out like 5 or 10 games in
Okay.
10 minutes. So, for instance, like Ghetto Warzones, to play Ghetto Warzones and to earn from it, especially, you had to take at least like 10 minutes out of your day, play the game, obviously try and be good enough to get like in the top three to then earn the payouts for that particular match. Whereas with Puff Hopper, it's a lot more. What's the word? It's a lot quicker. So people can get their payouts within seconds rather than having to play for like 5, 10 minutes. And obviously another aspect is it's a single player game rather than Ghetto Warzones, which is a multiplayer based game.
Okay. Okay. Oh, so multiplayer versus single player. Uh,
Exactly.
yeah, more you got to be really tapped in versus like I can get a quick fix real quick.
Yeah, exactly, man. Because when I was about 12 or 13, I was really addicted to a game called Doodle Jump. I don't know if do you
Okay.
remember it? And it's like a
No, no.
very similar to what the Puff Hopper is now, where you have to tap the screen and you're just trying to get as high as you can by jumping from level to level.
Yep.
But obviously with Doodle Jump, there was no in-game payouts or nothing like that. So you're just wasting your time playing it. Where at least from Puff Hopper especially, you can earn a good amount of money from just sitting there playing the game.
Oh, that's pretty dope. And in terms of earning, how's the earning ecosystem work? If I'm playing and I'm earning, what's the whole process? I can spend, what can I do there?
Yes, obviously you can earn your puff tokens, and then you can then go onto like Ghetto Market and obviously spend the tokens on NFTs, and that's kind of where we're limited right now. So that's why I want to get the merch store created, so you can actually use your puff tokens to buy real world assets. But the other asset that we want to do is so when they earn puff, they can obviously just sell the puff for algo.
Yep.
But we learned from Coup, especially when we launched Coup, is that obviously people are going to try and farm the game as much as they can, just so they can then obviously transfer its algo to USDC and then into their bank account.
Yep.
And we learned this the hard way with Coup, and we kind of learned it with Puff as well, because at the initial launch with Puff, we had an exploit where someone was able to basically access the in-game reward pool without holding an NFT and without actually playing the game.
Oh,
So that
wow.
they was basically able to find the back end on Firebase, where they was then sending a message every 5 seconds that which would be the same message that it would send if they was playing the game.
Okay.
So we found this one wallet that had literally somehow earned over 3,000 Algorand in less than, I think it was like 6 hours or 7 hours.
Oh, Jeez.
I know. And then obviously the bastard obviously sold all the puff and just dumped it all and then transferred all the algos to USDC. And yeah, and the word
People are grimy. Yeah.
they are, bro, they are. Because then the worst thing is the guy was in the Discord. Like once we banned his account, he's in the Discord asking like, "Oh, why have I been banned? Like, what? Why can't I get payouts anymore?" And we're thinking like, bro, come on, like. If we was like $1 million like project that had like major backing behind it, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't even mind you taking like a little $700, $800 out of the ecosystem. But the fact that we're grinding for every algo, like putting it into the liquidity pools, like trying to keep the tokens afloat, just for him to then dump all like that, like that's not cool, man. I don't respect stuff like that.
Nah, people are ridiculous, and then they always play like they don't know what's going on. Like
exactly, that's what annoyed me the most was the fact he tried to play stupid when it's like we did a full breakdown of every step that he would have had to do to basically do what he did, and it's just like you say, bro. People are just grimy. It's just it's what it is, man. It's what it is.
That's crazy. So we about to slowly start closing out. What are some lessons you learned as a startup founder, as a NFT builder, a whole ecosystem builder? What's some lessons that you learned?
Don't think everyone has the same like belief system as you. Don't think everyone's as generous as you. That kind of thing, especially like because you will get taken for granted and people will walk all over you. So you have to remain firm and yeah, just stick to your goal. Like have your goal and your mindset and just stick to it. That's kind of what I'd say, man.
No, that's great. Nothing cooler than this. Give the legends a like and a share. Yeah, please do that, y'all. Please.
That's it, man. Share as much as you can. Like, come on, man. We need to see what out there as much as we can.
Most definitely. So yeah, man, it's been great chatting with you. I think like what you said, you gotta stay 10 toes down. You got to stick to it, and then obviously there's going to be some challenges. Obviously, there's going to be some challenges.
Exactly. However, that's life.
Yeah, it definitely looks like you stay committed. You're going to have people involved in that, again, like we got here, that really support what you're building. So that's great. And again, y'all, make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all subscribe, share this out. And if you have not downloaded Ghetto Warzones or Pigeon Puff Hopper, make sure you do it. Again, I'll show you the Pigeon Puff on Android, Google Play, and then we got Ghetto Warzones right here. Make sure y'all tap in. Make sure y'all tap in. Anything else you'd like to share before we go?
Just like I say, you can find us on Twitter, just Ghetto Pigeons. And just like I say, we have a lot more things planned for the future. Like we plan on going cross-chain. Obviously, major updates coming to Ghetto Warzones with more maps, more characters, more weapons, and just like improvements to the UI. Just so we can almost have it, not as like a AAA game, but just so we're almost proud of it, that we can then present it to people and hopefully onboard a lot more people to Algorand.
Excellent. That sounds great. Well, we definitely supporting over here and everyone else. Appreciate y'all. This was a great live stream, great interview. Thank you, Ghetto Pigeons. And then
Thank
we
you.
about to get out of here, y'all. Peace.
Take care, Roman. All the best, brother.
Passive income. Gold in my dental. Thank God for my mental. Investor fundamentals. Told my girl it was simple.